What's up, guys? I'm Scar here from theScore eSports here with Stixxay. Unfortunately, you guys lost 2-3 just recently in the final or third place match. How do you feel?
I'm sad, Scar. I'm sad. No, it was a really probably one of the most fun matches I've played so far. I'd say that probably the best is MSI. Just the whole tournament was really fun, but this tournament was like second for me. I had a lot of fun just playing all day. It was a really long series, but yeah, it kind of sucked that we came here to play the third and fourth place match, but it was still pretty hype. It was a lot of fun. So
It's really weird because a lot of times people have this theory about playoff Stixxay, that he shows up in the playoffs, like in tournaments to crush people. In fact, one of my colleagues says Stixxay is a player who plays better under pressure. What do you think about these theories? Do you think they're true, false? Would you like them to be true?
I definitely think that I'm a player that performs really well under pressure. I don't know if I necessarily play better under pressure, but it definitely doesn't bother me. And as far as like playoff Stixxay goes, I don't know. Maybe I would say towards the end of split, I definitely had like a resurgence of motivation to play the game. Maybe like early, middle of the split, I wasn't really feeling the game, to be honest, and kind of wasn't really enjoying it a lot. But definitely towards the end, I just liked playing it a lot more. And there was even a point where I really wasn't playing solo queue, maybe like 5-7 games a week. But now I was playing like 5 games a day. So yeah.
What causes resurgence? Was it like something about your team or just yourself that you kind of clicked?
I think with me, it's usually just something that kind of clicks. We really didn't have a break after MSI. We had like a 1 week break, and even then I was still playing solo queue all day. And then, so I guess in the beginning of the split, I was just kind of burned out a bit. But then, yeah, I don't know. Towards the end of the split, I don't know what happened. Just something randomly hit me, and I just started playing the game a lot more, enjoying the game a lot more. So yeah, that's all.
So in the series, you played a lot of Djinn to the point where they had to ban Djinn out in the 5th game. How'd you become such a great Djinn player? Because I think you went off almost every Djinn game you played.
Well, our substitute AD carry base Yuna is an absolute monster, Djinn, and taught me the ways. No, I'm just kidding. He's good, but I played just a lot of Djinn solo queue, and a lot of people gave me flack for my Djinn play, and I never really thought it was that bad. So I didn't really let that stop me from playing Djinn on stage, where people was like, "Oh God, Stixxay Djinn, the game's over," in a bad way. But now it's like opposite, I guess. So it's pretty cool.
I'm surprised that people tell you that they think your Djinn's bad, because a lot of people I work with and people I talk to don't really classify Sivir as a champion that like really like represents you as a player. Like usually when I see you, like you're really good on Caitlyn, really good on Ezreal. Your Djinn looks super clean recently, but Sivir is kind of a champion that's kind of like I feel like a little bit different than how you'd like to play. Is there any truth in that?
I would say Sivir is probably like my second or third right now, best champion. Unfortunately, game 5 was really unfortunate, and yeah, I don't know. That was a bad game overall, but I didn't play too well last game. But I think Sivir is, yeah, it's a different playstyle. It's like you don't really fight in lane too much. You just kind of push the wave, rotate with your team. But I don't know. Sivir's still a lot of fun for me to play, especially when you hit like the 4-item sweet spot. You just kill everything. So yeah.
Do you think there's any at the moment? A lot of people think Djinn, Ashe, and Sivir are the only 3 AD carries you can play. However, 5th game you played against Ezreal. I've seen Kog'Maw play internationally. Do you feel like these 3 champions are too oppressive right now for the AD meta?
Well, honestly, yeah, I definitely think like those 3 picks are the best. And if I could like say why, I don't exactly know why. I just know other regions pick it all the time, and that's not like our reasoning for playing it all the time. But in general, like the other AD carries aren't very strong, whereas like Lucian, low range, he's gonna lose to Ashe and Djinn in lane, and then even like Sivir early, he loses. So I don't know. Those 3 champions are just strong laning besides Sivir, and then they just have global ults. You just walk mid, and then yeah, enemy mid laner just dies from half the map. So
Let me go back a little bit to the game. So I noticed that you guys unfortunately didn't win many games against Vladimir this series. Do you think that was a bigger problem? Because your coach tweeted actually that you guys were winning a lot of games against Vlad in scrims, and you just weren't able to execute on stage.
Yeah, I think Vlad is like it's such a weird champion because yeah, we had good scrims versus Vlad, but it's like one of those champions that if you mess up and he gets like 3 kills, it's like, oh shit, Vlad is so fed. This game's gonna be really hard, guys. So the last game it was like, all right, only way we're gonna win is if we just farm for like 40 minutes and then somehow win a team fight. But yeah, they ended before because we messed up too much. But I'm not really sure where to put Vlad right now because yeah, we had a lot of good streams versus Vlad and it wasn't a problem if we just dealt with it properly. But when we don't deal with it properly, it just goes off and it's really hard to deal with. So.
What made it so your games were kind of like chaotic like that? Because I talked to Darshan, he's like, well, we had big leads almost every game except for the 5th game, which he also quoted to be unfortunate. But unfortunately, we weren't able to like execute or perform kind of the mid game or late game. What made that happen? Because I'm really confused. Like at least from the outside looking in, I'm not sure what to really pinpoint.
I think it's like a combination of how Immortals plays. So I'd say like game 1 and like 3, I think it was just like really chaotic. Just because Immortals kind of never stops chasing you. So when you play versus Immortals, it's like if you're like sieging like their turret or something, and then you try to back up to base, they just follow you the whole way, and then they just always try to fight you, and so they're always trying to bait you back into fight, and that's Immortals is probably the best team at doing that, and sometimes it baits people a lot, and it just makes the games in general a lot more chaotic, and in general they just like to fight all the time, so it's fun to play against, but it's like yeah, makes games can be really sloppy. So.
How would you identify your style then? If it's not very chaotic like Immortals who loves to fight, like is your style more macro oriented or what is it?
Yeah, I think our style is definitely macro oriented, so I feel like we rotate better than most teams, and sometimes we have bad calls, but most of the time we're like rotating better than the enemy team, and we have the right call. Our biggest problem is just executing the things and doing everything properly. So most of the time Zach is like always setting us up with the right play, and it's just up to us to actually execute it properly. And a lot of times when we lose, it's because of that. So I would say in like games 2 and 3, it's because we just messed up our execution.
Talk to me a little bit about tomorrow. You're not going to be playing tomorrow, however, I'd like your prediction on the finals games with TSM versus C9. Who's going to win?
I think TSM will win 3-1 or 3-2. I think C9 is actually a really good team as well, but TSM is like just kind of unstoppable this split, and I think all their players are like just actually insane. So yeah, I think TSM will win.
Assuming they don't, and you have to go through the gauntlet, is there any team you'd like to play again?
I guess it would. What would the other team be? I don't even know.
I guess your biggest competition would be TL, potentially C9, or potentially Immortals. I think there's a chance you could play all three, but there might not be. Maybe not Immortals. I'm not quite sure.
Well, if it could be Immortals, I'd love to play Immortals again. That was a lot of fun, and I think we would definitely win if we just cleaned up our play a bit. And yeah, I don't know. Another team would just maybe be TL, just see how they're doing with their new roster. Djinn, of course.
You got me there, man. Do you have any last words to say to your fans out there? Any people? I understand some may be disappointed, but what words do you have to hold their faith in?
Well, thank you guys for the support. We really appreciate it. All that you guys do for us, and all the positive comments and stuff is really nice. And shout out to the Canadian crowd. Really enjoyed the enthusiasm from everyone. It was a lot of fun to play in, so thank you guys.
I'm Scarra here with the best AD carry on CLG. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a nice day.